So when do you leave? And I hate, I can't stand somebody to be like, well, we got kids. So, fuck seriously. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shay B.
And it's your girl, Lex B.
And we are here with, okay, let's get into it. Podcast.
Y'all, this is our introductory episode, better known as the pilot.
You know how that is with TV shows, but this is our pilot episode. We're going to talk to y'all about some things, relationships, friendships, growth,
Health, wealth,
all of that. We're going to get into it. I feel like we've experienced some things. So actually sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
We see some things.
Yeah.
Hear some things.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can, weigh in, give our little 1-2 on it. We don't got to do too much, but,
This is not advice from a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist.
I am not
but life experiences tend to make you grow sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we see that and we know that. So I feel like this is great.
So we're going to start getting into some things for sure. And we plan to be pretty consistent here for sure. Plan on it.
Plan.
Charge it to my, what they say?
Charge it to my head.
Well,
don't charge it to my heart.
Charge it to my head,
not my heart. There it is. Took us a minute.
But yeah, okay, let's get into it.
I want to get into it just a little bit. I want to talk about when to leave a relationship. I feel like a lot of people become very complacent and comfortable within a relationship, and the relationship is not benefiting anyone. And they just stay stuck in a cycle. And I'm not sure if it's because what we hear is piss in the dating pool,
it's CC's in it.
or is it just a stability thing? What do you think?
So what I hear you saying is you're trying to figure out if people stay in relationships for stability or comfort.
Yeah, for sure.
Both.
Why?
I feel like with piggybacking off of the statement that you said, the dating pool having piss in it, when you find somebody, anybody, and when you find somebody and you've been in the dating pool for so long, I feel like you tend to cling to that because possibly you've been single for, like 3, 5, 6, 7 years, and you get somebody who gives you attention that you haven't had in a while. So it's like, I want to hold that tight. I want to hold that dear. Yeah.
So that's more so like a comfortability thing. Like it's comfortable.
I wouldn't say it's comfortable because it gets toxic. In the situations that we've experienced with people and other things, it gets toxic, but they'll stay anyway for the simple title
of having someone.
Like, I can't relate. My man, my girl, whatever. But you can relate because they're not doing that. You just want that title to have I feel like some people want that title to have a one-up on somebody. Yeah.
Like, I got a man, they don't. Or I got a girl.
Yeah, like I can't relate. I got a man. But your your man at home, I can say nigga, right? Yeah, it's our podcast. Yeah. Is it going to beep it up?
I mean, so we have to wait 5 minutes before we can start cussing on YouTube.
Oh, so there's not 5 minutes yet.
That's okay. I can do
whomever you with at home, not leading, not washing, not cooking, not cleaning, playing the video game all day, and they're not getting paid for it.
Just on
the video game all day. But you are with them just for the simple fact of that title. To say that you have somebody. And there's no stability in that for me personally.
Hello.
Like we talked about the other day, what stability looks like within a relationship and leadership we talked about the leadership one.
Leadership is big.
What is your definition of leadership in a relationship before I get into that?
Leadership. Ooh, I'm gonna give you your props and let you know, like, from the moment we've gotten together, you've been a leader. Like, whatever issue may arise, you will automatically take control and be like, you know what, this is step-by-step action. What are your thoughts? What are your inputs? How can we maneuver and execute together to make sure that X, Y, and Z happens? You've done that. And what I see and hear a lot of is there are people that want to be leaders, but don't know how to lead. It just kind of, it blows my mind because it's like,
oh, you gotta pause there. What, to the people, what does not knowing how to lead mean though?
Not knowing how to lead is like, I come to you like, hey, oh my God, I got a flat tire. I hit a pothole. And, you know, they vicious out here. You hit a pothole and I have a flat tire, and you'd be like, oh.
So how you gonna get home?
Or better yet, you know, our lease about to be up. Okay, it's only me on my end trying to figure out our next moves, our next steps. But you, let me know when you find something. But you're supposed to be the one, and I'm not saying that you have this title, but I feel like there's a lot of people, and not just men in this world, that want to be leaders but lack the
leadership.
The leader, yeah. It's like you don't know when to step in, you don't know when to take over, you don't know when to lead. Like, when do you know when to lead? Because me personally, I'm very submissive. So when you showed me that you were a leader, I'm puppy dog. Where we going?
Yeah, bro. You be walking around lost as hell.
I don't have to worry. Yeah. I don't have to worry. And that, to me, that's a leader. Not saying that I don't be doing nothing, but no. It's just like, I know for a fact I don't have to worry.
You can put your brain on autopilot a lot of times.
Coasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a thing that, like, what is the difference between leading and controlling?
Okay, and I can hit you back with what's the difference between controlling and dominance?
Controlling is more so like, say for instance, one of my friends coming to town.
Right.
We're gonna go out.
Right.
You like, no, you're not going nowhere.
But what's my reason for that?
You don't have one.
Not saying this is literally our situation.
No, just as an example.
Right.
Like, you don't have a reason.
There's not, you ain't going.
No, you're not going out. But why? Because I said so. Controlling. Or I'm finna go out the house and I have on a certain outfit that you know would attract attention. Take that shit off. Change your clothes. Not, babe, I don't think it's cute. I see where you're going. Let's change the top a little bit. I know I see too much and I will feel comfortable, but that's a certain dominance because it's mine. This is mine. Like, I don't want nobody else looking at mine. Versus, take that shit off. You're not wearing that. You're not.
Watch me.
Watch me. Yeah. So it's like there's a difference between leading and controlling, and I feel like what it is in a lot of relationships that I see, that I hear, they want to be controlling. Because I said so, controlling.
And they take the word leadership and blanket it over that control.
I'm trying to be a leader. No. I'm trying to be controlling.
I'm trying to be like your daddy, your mama.
Talk about it. So yeah, I feel like there's a huge difference between leading and controlling. And I feel like in a lot of relationships, there are women out there like me that look for, I don't necessarily look for, but love the idea of having a partner that knows how to lead.
Right.
And it's a such thing as both being leaders in a relationship.
How?
Because you might be excellent in one lane, might be great in one lane that I'm not good in.
Right.
And I could be great in another lane that you're not okay in.
Right.
But we both know how to come together, get some shit done, make some shit happen.
Right.
To me, that's co-leading.
For sure. But I don't want to speak too much into the heterosexual lane. But I feel like men, and I speak on this from experience with friends, family members, and things like that.
Yeah.
Not personal, but whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like men have a problem with women who try to lead in any aspect. And I mean, if she make more money than you ain't liking that. If she tries to step up in the household, you're not liking that. And I feel like a lot of relationships break there because women wanting to be submissive, they automatically submit and then they lose themselves in that partner who is supposed to be a leader, but is really controlled.
Not even in relationships, even at work. Like in work life, like I used to work at a job where a lot of women were in higher control.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of men who didn't have that much of a say so. So if a woman were to come to them and be like, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, they didn't want to do it because, not because it was the task was just outlandish.
Because the female was
because the woman told you to do it.
Yeah.
But not thinking like she's in this position for a reason. And if I want to be in this position, I need to fall under her wings to figure out how she move, how she sleep, how she eat, how she shit, maybe even.
How she wife.
To get to her position.
And she stay on she eat.
You know, like just to get to her position and being teachable.
So dialing it back into relationships.
Because we sure got off.
Dialing it back into relationships, being teachable. I'm going to piggyback off that. Like, how does that work in a relationship dynamic? Whether that's any relationship dynamic, how does that work?
For example, not knowing how to love, that's a big one that a lot of people lack in relationships. They don't know how to properly love.
But do you feel like your partner should be the one teaching you that?
No, because that comes with self-growth, but it can coexist. Because just because this is how I love doesn't mean that's how you receive the love that I give you.
Hello?
So if I'm not an affectionate person,
right,
but you are,
right,
you love physical touch. That is your love language. That's how I can love you.
Right.
So me growing up in a household where love and affection wasn't given, I come in a relationship and it was like, why are you touching me? Why are we sitting next to each other? Why are we holding hands? What's wrong? I'm here. We're together. So that should be enough, right? That's not enough for you. So me loving you how you want to be loved would be you saying, hey, I like when X, Y, and Z. I like when we hold hands. I like when we on the couch cuddling. I like when we out in public and we just kiss. Like, you like stuff like that. That's a teaching moment. So you're teaching me, like, these things that I like, whether I brain dump it or retain it. It's simply that.
Okay. Say that is my love language and I'm telling you, hey, this is what I like. At what point is it, I like this and you have to get on board, or you're trying to control your person to do what you want them to do?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, hey, I like hugs. I like kisses. I like when we sit on the couch and hold hands. I like this stuff, but that makes you uncomfortable and you don't want to do it. So what, if you were in, the roles were switched here and you were in my position, how would you maneuver that? Because is that a point that you need to leave? Because this person is not what you need.
No, but you have to realize habits take a while to break. And I feel like people don't have enough patience for that. And I'm not saying lay down and take absolutely anything, not at all. But
yes, you do.
Coming from, you have to think about the backgrounds. Like, it's so much deeper than just being with someone.
To a consenting adults in a relationship, it goes deep.
Like, it starts from at home. Like, it starts at home. So if, like I said, if I'm telling you, I grew up in a household where love and affection and all these words of affirmation were just not there.
Or if you
exactly. And I come into a relationship and it's happening consistently, I'm like a sitting duck. What am I supposed to do with that? It's like you giving me a rock and saying, hold it. And now I'm confused because what am I doing the rock? Whole time you want me to throw it.
But I ain't say that.
But it's not computing.
I told you to get the rock and hold it. I didn't say throw it.
But I'm just saying,
you no clear direction.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. So you coming to me and you're upset with me because I'm not doing what you want me to do or loving you how you want to be loved. So I'm saying, like, you came and handed me a rock and I'm saying hold the rock. But you want me to throw the rock. But you just said hold it. But if you were to be like, hey, take this rock, hold it for a second, and throw it, that's teaching me what to do. Giving me clear directions on what to do.
I see where you are. Lost confused.
It's okay. Brought it back in. Brought it back in. But I just feel like that's what people lack. They lack the patience. They lack the understanding. And then they expect change to happen within 24 hours.
Ooh. So when would you know, or when would you give someone advice on when to know enough is enough? So say we're brand new in this relationship dynamic, brand new in this era. We're two people from two different backgrounds, raised differently, and we're trying to mesh together.
Mm-hmm.
But I get love this way, you get love that way. I don't know how to love you, you don't know how to love me. How long before, like, how many teaching moments and how much time and patience do you feel like one should put in before they're like, you know what, this is not meeting my standards.
Mm-hmm.
You're not meeting my threshold. Because most people don't even know they have standards. Most people don't even know what a standard is.
No,
they will sit in bullshit for years, taking the same bullshits for years, and be like, we're working on it, but your partner not doing nothing to change. So when do you know when to start, you know what?
Cycling out.
This doesn't align with what I need in my life. And I need to exit stage love. So when would you give someone advice on when to?
You know when you know.
But you don't.
But you do, because people have a tolerance. It's like drinking. I know if I take 3 or 4 shots, and this is not real life, but I know if I take 3 or 4 shots, I'm through. But I'm steady drinking. But I already know my tolerance. It's like, you know when your knees start tingling and the room start going like this, you done had one too many.
Yeah.
So you sitting here like, hey, do this. Hey, do that. Hey, do this. This is how I want this. This is how I want that. And then their partner's not doing any active work to change anything.
Right.
And you go back in, hey, do this, hey, do that. This is what I need. This is what I need. And your partner is still not actively changing to do anything. Then you go again. The cycle continues. But it's like, you will know, like, all right, at this point,
I'm talking to and I'm not listening.
Especially when there's no active nothing. There's no type of trying, because I can understand from the standpoint of somebody being uncomfortable and not being used to doing something. So I can understand that. So it's like, what do I do with this? What do I do with it? But there's no active change. That's the issue. People don't understand. When you're repeating yourself and when I say absolutely nothing,
period, you can hear a pin drop.
Chirping. So it's like when that happens and it's like, okay, at this point, you gotta look at yourself. Because I'm accepting this for what? But you see changes like, okay, all right. It's just taking me a little bit to get there. But that's when you have the conversation. Like, so what can I help you? Like, what do you need from me to help you excel in this? Because I see it's taking you a little bit longer. I see it kind of makes you uncomfortable. What do you need from me? And if they can't have a serious, deep conversation with you and be like, this makes me uncomfortable, or I'm not used to doing this. So when I do this, it kind of like plays in my head. I think too hard. I overthink it. It makes me uncomfortable. It's up to you as a person if you have the patience to be like, you know what, I can work with you there. Like, I can do this, I can do that to help you get there. Or you be like, you know what, you need to figure it out by yourself.
What is the difference between patience and emotional intelligence to deal with? Because you can have the patience of a giant, but your emotional intelligence isn't there. So if I'm asking you or letting you know that I need something from you, and I'm expressing it in all these ways, and you're not computing, your hard drive is constantly rebooting.
I'm telling you.
Do I have the emotional intelligence to come sit with you and have that conversation? Because most people don't even know how to. Communication comes first, emotional intelligence comes second. Most people don't even got the first to have the second.
Yeah.
But they can have patience. All those things, most times most people don't even have patience these days. But honestly, I think it's like a 3 tier. It's like a patience. Forget the 2 tiers. So patience, communication, and emotional intelligence. So that all of these things work together.
Real machine.
Right.
I feel like you can have patience all day, but this is where it gets tricky because I have patience, but I don't have the emotional intelligence to go help or do anything or even pour into anything or anybody, let alone myself.
Yeah.
So me being patient with external factors is not doing anything but sending me into mayhem. My brain is going stupid right now because it's a lot. I can't self-regulate. I can't distinct between the two. Like, okay, I'm feeling like this, but this is why I'm feeling like this. This time myself, it's not none of that. So if you just patient, that's fine.
I get that. As I used to be, I've always been a patient person, but I have not always been the best communicator. I used to think I was a good communicator, and I would say, not tooting my own horn, I communicated better than most, but I did not have emotional intelligence or emotional regulation skills. So if I am like, hey, you did this and it bothered me, and fuck you. That was it. Like, I'm gonna let you know what you did or you had me fucked up at, but at the end of the day, I'm out of 3,000. I'm not trying to sit and talk to you, and I don't care what you got to say. I don't want to hear your side. That was me. And like I said, it's a tier. You have to have all of them so that they coincide. I didn't have 2 out of the 3.
So what you're saying is you thought you were a good communicator because you were speaking on what you felt.
Right. When you met me, I was a very blunt person. I said whatever was on my mind.
Right.
I just didn't know how to tactfully say it. I didn't know how to handle anyone, like how I came off to someone. I didn't care. I said what I said.
And you meant it.
And I meant that. But now, as I've grown in therapy, as I've grown as a person, done my own work, I understand that I can say something and still be gentle with my approach.
Ooh, Lord, I had that bad. The Lord's working on me with that.
The Lord? Jesus?
The Jesus still working on me with that. Because it's like, it can get overwhelming.
What you mean?
Because I was a person at one point in time that I could not self-regulate to save my life. Like when I got mad, I got mad. When I was irritated, I was irritated. And it was bad. And it was to a point where it's like, it was starting to pour into our relationship.
Right.
It was starting to affect that. And at one point in time, it was like, I just want you to, agree with my bullshit, pretty much.
You want me to report?
Yeah. Yeah, but after doing self work and going to therapy, I realized like my problem should never latch on to anyone else and make it their problems. And how I express myself is extremely important because me telling someone that I'm pissed off, so like it's not an emotion to me. You're pissed off. No, you're angry. I'm pissed off is just a smart ass way of saying that you're upset.
Right.
So that'll be like, that just pissed me off. No, that made me feel like X, Y, and Z. Like there's a certain way you say things. So you can be assertive. You can be very blunt and say what you mean, but you can be blunt and know how to articulate your words and your verbiage so that it comes off as receivable. Because I'm be coming to you and be like, you did X, Y, and Z and it pissed me the fuck off. Like me thinking I am conveying a feeling to you right now. And your response to me is, okay.
Because of the way you came to me.
Exactly. But it's time me coming to you and be like, when you did X, Y, and Z, it made me feel hurt. Or it hurt my feelings when you did, or when you said X, Y, and Z.
Again, that goes back to that emotional intelligence. Is if you're coming to me as my partner, telling me that I hurt your feelings by something I did, and I don't respond in a positive manner, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Fuck, I gotta do with me. Now what?
One,
Is that grounds to leave? If you're with someone who doesn't know how to handle your feelings, you're good with communicating, and most of y'all are not good with communicating. I mean, you
don't act like you are.
Because you become into people crazy and wonder why they come to you crazy.
The response they give.
I digress. But if I am not equipped to handle an emotional human, is that grounds to leave? Because to be honest, you couldn't always handle me. I came to you an emotional human. I'm very into my emotions. I've always been that way. And I would say it's because I'm a water baby. But on the other side of that, I grew up. I said I could say that, but I grew up in a very emotional household.
Right.
So that was my growing up. I was an emotional human.
Right.
I didn't always know what those emotions were. But when I came to you, I was very,
very much so.
I wouldn't say emotional because I didn't cry at everything. Emotional as in tune with my emotions, like my heart on my sleeve type of thing.
Okay.
And I'm coming to you. It's a hard knock life.
No, for
us. Like
you coming to a brick wall right now? Like can't shit get in, can't shit get out. I'm here.
Then I found this brick.
Yeah, you did. It was a very hard and tough brick wall, but that's because I was not equipped with the emotional intelligence to know how to regulate, how to I'm not going to sit here and say that I came from a very emotional household, because I didn't. That's a lie. I was brought up on what they call tough love, and the older I got, the more self-work I did, I realized that that's not real. Tough love's not a real thing. Tough love is just a blanket to say that I don't know how to handle myself and my emotions, so I'm gonna just love you the best I can.
Right.
And however you turn out to be is what it is.
Right.
So I had to unwork that and learn, like, these are your feelings and it's okay. Because what a lot of people do is, like, I feel like this comes with emotional intelligence as well. Because you say, I'm having a feeling. Should I feel this way? I don't know if I feel this way. I don't know if I should be upset about this or not.
How does that tie in with emotional intelligence?
Because if I'm having a feeling, I need to know it's okay to have this feeling. It's okay to feel like this.
And you need to be able to name what that feeling is.
Exactly.
Right.
And not have to come to you and be like, babe, should I be sad?
I don't know.
Like, no. Like, if that's the first emotion that you name, then obviously you feel it.
Right.
So me coming to you and asking you for a validation of my feelings for what? Because obviously I'm feeling it. So sitting with that emotional intelligence and be like, you know what, I'm feeling sad right now. And learning how to connect those dots once again to convey that to someone.
Right.
In a relationship, if somebody's not meeting your expectations or your standards, learning how to connect those dots, bring up what it's feeling like for you.
And knowing when to leave.
Exactly. Because it's like you continuously going through the cycle and you're telling them like, hey, I need this. Hey, I want that. Hey, I need this. And I say, ain't anybody budging?
You hitting the 350-pound line.
Yeah, at this point, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
Because you keep touching fire and getting
burnt with it. And then you get mad at them for you getting burnt. No, be upset with yourself. Because at one point in time, it's like, at what point in time is it like, I need to, you know what? Obviously, you have some more things to work through.
This is first step first. They have to find self-worth.
Hello.
I think that's where a lot of humans in general lack when it comes to relationships. Mm-hmm. Self-worth. Why are you taking things from someone who would rather see you down bad? So, and that goes back to women and people in general, and humans in general, just wanting to have somebody and willing to go through whatever just to say they have somebody. But behind them doors, you are in hell in your household. You're in turmoil in your household.
So when do you leave? And I can't stand somebody to be like, well, we got kids. So?
Fuck the kids.
Seriously, like,
Not literally fuck the kids.
But you have to realize what was you telling me about Soft White Underbelly? And she said she could see like how she was reacting to her kids because of this person.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not a mother, so I can't sit here and be like, I can fully understand that, but I can damn sure empathize with understanding that being in a toxic relationship and then having a child,
Fix that toxic relationship.
kids feel all that. Kids see all of that. So when you're literally sitting here and staying because of this child, you're not hurting nobody else but this child.
Right.
Because if, say for instance, like, my parents were together, and I was a child,
of course,
and my mother left because that relationship was toxic for her. But growing up, I didn't understand why. But she was able to love me the best she was able to pour into me. She was able to give me that emotional intelligence. She was able to affirm me. I'm getting all of this from her. So me missing out on a 2-income household didn't truly affect me because I still grew up with the emotional intelligence to be a successful human. But more than likely, it's where, well, we got kids together, so I gotta say for these kids, I don't want to have a broken home. The house is broken if y'all together or not.
It's divided.
Truthfully. So I feel like I don't use that baby as an excuse to stay. Don't use nothing as an excuse to stay if you're truly not happy, especially if y'all have kids. We feel the wrath.
Right.
So yeah, you need to know when to leave.
To go behind that, most kids, they understand emotions, but say from the time I was born until I'm 5, I see my mom and dad in the same household. So if my mom and dad aren't happy, my mom chooses to leave and I go with my mom, I'm still going to be asking where my dad is. That's
and that's okay. And that's, I don't know why society makes that a thing. Like, if two parents
sit that baby down, like, listen, mommy and daddy don't get along very well, but we're going to get along the best we know how for you.
And that is
That doesn't mean
okay.
I love you any less. That doesn't mean your dad loves you any less. We're just better apart than we are together.
Hello. And I hate when people code it and be
I ain't
like,
got no kids. You see how easy that was?
and-
Yeah, and granted, I'm not knocking nobody's experience. It's easier said than done for sure.
it is. But if y'all can't come together and have a civilized conversation for the sake of your child, y'all should have made one anyway.
You chose the wrong.
Y'all should not have made one anyway. And that's just the God honest truth.
Like if we were to have a child and we chose not to work out together, I feel like we are both emotionally intelligent enough to if that child is old enough to comprehend, sit down with that child and let them know, like, that doesn't mean we love you any less.
Right.
We will still be here and show up for you
Right.
in any aspect. It's not, I still love your mom. That doesn't mean I don't love your mom.
Right.
We are just better apart, and that's okay.
Then we are together. And that's
And at that point, you're teaching your child it's okay to leave when they're not happy. You're teaching your child a form of self-worth. You're teaching your child that if I'm not happy, I don't have to be here, you know? Like, you're teaching your kid, they may not understand completely, but as that girl, they're gonna be like, you know what? Mama was a boss ass bitch for that.
I'm telling you. And it doesn't mean that you have to love your parents. Like, I don't think your child will love you guys either less. It's just how you pour into your child.
Listen.
It's how you pour into them. Because I just know they should have left. That's all I got to damn say. And it would have been A-okay with me. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure.
It would have been A-okay with me.
For sure.
So I just feel like it's easier said than done. Like, you need to leave. You need to
The
leave.
people in the comments will be like, y'all ain't got no kids. Y'all don't need to be talking about what y'all don't know about.
At one point in time, honey, I was a child. That's all I'm gonna say. At one point in time, I was a child, and I was able to comprehend. I was able to see.
Right.
I was a child.
I've
So
been in the position.
yeah, but it's easier said than done to tell someone when to leave.
You can't tell nobody when to leave.
You can't.
They have to make that decision on their own, and that comes with a lot of work. And most people end up in 15, 20, 30-year relationships, not marriages. 'Cause that man, that lady don't have no inclination to even ever marry you, because you're doing everything that a wife would do. You giving your all or nothing just so you can, hey, pick me. I can do that.
That bring up a good topic.
We're not on that topic. That's a topic for another day.
Oh, I gotta say that for the next. That's say for the next one. But I just feel like telling someone not telling someone when to leave. It's like they'll know when enough is enough. Like, I'll never tell any of my friends to leave. I never tell any of my siblings to leave. You know when enough is enough.
So you mean to tell me if one of your siblings is getting and not talking bad on anybody in these situations?
No.
But if somebody in their household is beating them black and blue, you're not gonna tell your sibling to leave?
Oh, I'm not gonna. You know what? Yes and no. Because yes and no.
I'm gonna come get you.
No, for sure. No, for sure. I'm going to come get you. And I'm not going to say it's a number of times I'm going to come get you, but you continuing to run back, I don't say obviously you like it, but obviously it's something that you're lacking within yourself.
Right.
And it sucks because remember watching the movie Made, the TV show Made, and how that lady, her boyfriend was beating on her, but she didn't have the self-worth. She didn't have the emotional intelligence or the emotional capacity to be like, you know what, I choose me and my baby over getting my head busted in.
She did, but every time she had to go back out of stability.
Tell them your own too.
She couldn't.
Yes, she could, because that daycare that facility provided everything: child care, parenting classes, job interviews, the whole 9 yards. So you can't sit here and tell me that they didn't have resources, because yes, you did.
We gotta rewatch it because I forgot why she ended up going back. She ended up going back
Because that man called her. He called her phone apologizing.
No. No.
We gotta watch the clip. But I remember him calling, and she's like, he keeps
You talking
calling.
about the Latino lady or
Yes,
the actual...
the Latina lady, not Alex, not her. The Latina lady.
Okay.
That man called that flip, and she opened it and had a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in those instances, that's a lack of self-worth. Now, Alex, that was definitely stability because she couldn't get right to save her life.
Yeah.
It was just continuously falling down. But if either one of my siblings or friends were to call me and be like, I'm getting towed from the flow up in this house, I gotta go. I'm coming.
Right.
For sure. And I'm not gonna make them feel bad because I feel like you see the signs. You know.
Right.
Can't be the first time it happened.
Right.
This is just a time that is this bad.
Right.
So I can't tell you like, don't go back there.
Right.
I can this is a safe space. You can stay here as long as you need. Whatever you need to figure out.
As long as it need.
Huh? Not wait. But this is a safe space for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel on edge here. Like, I will make it a comfortable space because that's already a traumatic thing. Now, whether you choose to go back or not, it's solely up to you.
But count me out, boo.
That's another thing too.
What?
That's another topic we get into later. Another topic, another time. But that's a good one. Just, I don't know. It's just, life is, it's not hard, but damn. Damn.
Don't make it harder than what it has to be. You know the difference. I'm not going to say you know the difference. Understand the difference between leaders and controllers. Understand the difference between controlling and dominance. Understand your emotions. Work on understanding your emotions. And work on understanding your self-worth. Build a guideline for yourself. Just like your job has guidelines and standards, build a guideline and standard for yourself. I will accept this. I will not accept that. I do not like this. I do like that. If you live by these guidelines, if someone comes into your life and they're not, I wouldn't say checking the boxes essentially, but if they're not aligning with your SOP, that is not the place to be.
Hello.
Bars.
Ain't that?
Yeah, that's really my take on the topic, honestly.
It starts with you.
It starts from within.
It starts at home. And I don't say at home, not as a child, yes, but as you get older, that can no longer be your excuse. It starts with you. You know what you will accept, you know what you won't accept. You know what you will stand for, you know what you won't stand for. You know what you have the mental capacity for, you know what you don't have the mental capacity for.
And if you don't understand what you will and won't accept, maybe you need to take a break from dating to understand yourself more. Because some people, they literally go from relationship to relationship to
Serial
relationship
daters.
to relationship to relationship to relationship and so on and so forth.
Yep.
I was in a relationship for, not me personally, but I was in a relationship for 4 years. I did not take my time to understand what I liked and did not like in that relationship. I just moved on to the next person, looking for 4 years in this person that I'm meeting now. And I'm continuing to have the same habits and not understanding why I keep falling in the same pattern.
Come on, somebody.
So if you find yourself, if you're at an age where you're finding yourself like, damn, this feels familiar. Damn, I keep repeating the same pattern. I don't understand why. Take a step back and learn yourself first.
Come on, somebody.
You have to. I'm not saying you have to be fully healed to move on to another relationship, but you at least need to take time to figure out things within yourself so that you don't carry these bags into every single relationship that you choose to move forward with.
And at that point, I feel like once you get to that point in your life, you know what you will go for, you know what you won't go for.
That's the ball rolling for growth. Like you're starting that's the domino that will change the whole dynamic of your mindset.
Yep. And that's it. Like, it really just starts with you in all aspects: leadership, knowing when to leave, overplaying your part. Like,
I don't even think we touched too much on that, so we might have to
double back. We will.
Yeah. So it starts with you. That's the moral of the story. I hope y'all like this podcast on Okay, Let's Get Into It.
Period.
And I hope y'all come back for more. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll be back.
We'll be back. We got something to say, honey. Peace.